And we're live. Oh, wait, I forgot something. There we go. All right. One quickie thing here before we have anybody in. Hi, guys. How you doing? Good to see you. And hey, here's lots of people. Hello, Green Yeti. See, this is last stream. You know what? Okay, well, Green Yeti, why is this your last stream? You're quitting YouTube. Why are you quitting YouTube? Quitting social media too. I'm sorry. You having a hard time? It's somebody giving you a hard time? Well, I'm sorry, Green Yeti. I hope you come back sometime. Look, I got my Mickey Mouse ears. I'm all ready to go, and so, yeah. Hi, Delvis. I hope you will recover, Mr. Yeti. I've enjoyed having you on here. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Thanks for noticing. Matt Edwards says, greetings from Boise. Greetings from the United States. Yet you quitting collecting. Okay, well, I understand. Sometimes we all feel that way, and you got to do what you got to do. I don't think you should quit everything. Hello, McDowell. How you doing? Hello. Andrew Baker says hello from Chile. Hello from the United States. You know what? I don't know that people really are from the places that they say they're from, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to check. I'll still say hi from the United States anyway. Well, Green Yeti, I hope that you will reconsider, and you're always welcome here. So, you know, always feel like you can come back if you want to. And we'll be happy to have you. And, you know, somebody has to plug Globulus. Hey, Mike Lopez, how you doing? Sir Grunt says, greetings from Georgia. Greetings from the United States. Well, Green Yeti, I thought we got rid of that guy, so you shouldn't have too many problems with that guy anymore. Plus, you are a moderator now, so you should have the power to defend yourself. Hi, Mike. How you doing? It's nice to see lots of familiar faces here. I thought you guys would enjoy. I thought you guys would enjoy, you know, some top-notch cosplay here. I think I should be able to join the finest with this, don't you think? Okay, here we go. There we go. Well, Green Yeti, you know, you've got to make your own decision. You know, that's just part of growing up. So I'm not going to interfere with your choices, but I do hope you'll reconsider, and I hope you'll come back and join us again. All right. Even though, you know, I'm not a fan of Globulus, I know that there are lots of fans out there. Secret Rebel asks if I'm doing well. I am doing pretty well, thank you. All right. The topic for tonight. Well, I had some thoughts about the G.I. Joe movie that I wanted to discuss. And also, I thought we might just take a live look at the Phantom X-19, which I have right next to me. Hey, Javier Gonzalez, to see you too. Okay. See, he's not quitting. He's not quitting. You were making everybody sad, so I'm glad you're staying. See, you got people who like globulous. It takes all kinds, you know, to make the world go round. All right, how's the family? Haven't seen them doing cameos. They've been doing pretty well. I did in a lot of recent videos. I just haven't had found the right role for them to do cameos. But there's in the next one, the one that you will see this coming Sunday, we do have a family cameo, a familo. So. Yeah, Green Yeti. I'm happy to have you here. Look at all these folks that are regulars here. I haven't been doing this live stream for very long, but I see a lot of folks show up every week, and that is just incredible to me. So I feel lucky to see all of you folks here, and I hate for any of you to feel like you had to go. So. Yeah, thanks, Becky. It's I enjoy having them in it, and they seem to have fun with it too. Hey, JJ's Toy Room. Now, Green Yeti, by the way, you are a moderator, so I've put that responsibility on you. So I'm hoping that you will come through for me and help me monitor the chat, because I don't see everything in the chat. If I look away, I miss a lot. So I need your help there. Yeah, like, where did Crimson Law come from? I get, it's all a jumble in there. And just things get mixed up. Sometimes even when I do something, written out and edited, I still get things mixed up. It's hard to talk this much every week and without screwing up. So, do I have any European? I have Action Force, but they're way over there. I don't have them handy right now. Yeah, so yeah, let's make Crimson Law. That's what we need. We need a Crimson Law. Obviously, they are the elite royal guard, right? So, yeah. Yeah, I had some thoughts about the upcoming movie and kind of some ideas of what it maybe should or shouldn't be. Things that I think might help make it successful, and things that I think it should avoid. I thought I might talk about that a little bit. I just kind of got some thoughts in my brain that I wanted to spill out. It may not be very good conversation, but it's just something I've been thinking about. Nemesis Enforcer. I almost turned into Crimson Enforcer. Wow. Jose Corrales, hello from the United States. Yeah, Byron and Delvis are pretty good guys. My rapping isn't exactly the best. In fact, I was doing kind of a Vanilla Ice thing, so, even if I did a great job imitating Vanilla Ice, really, how good could it be? But I had fun with it. I hope some people thought it was amusing. Hi, Carl. Okay, all right. Thoughts about the movie. So, as some of you may know, there's supposed to be a new G.I. Joe movie in 2020, so a couple years from now. And at some point, either before then or after, probably after, there's supposed to be a solo Snake Eyes movie, which I really like. I think that's a great idea. And that's Crash Diet Kathy. That's my sister-in-law. Hello, Kathy. How are you? So here's what I think. First of all, some mistakes that I think were made in the live-action movies that we've gotten so far. Oh, Human Mechanism asks my thought on Transformers G.I. Joe crossover theory. If you're referring to like the John Cena theory, I want to see more evidence before I believe that's true. But I'm pretty confident we will see G.I. Joe Transformer crossover. They're just gonna do it. They're gonna do it. So we just hope that it's good. So I think that's coming, like it or not. I think that's on its way. I think that's their intention. But I was thinking about some of the things that in, for instance, Rise of Cobra, that I thought were unfortunate mistakes. And that in Rise of Cobra, you basically have an origin of Cobra, right? Hello, Ronald. You have the origin of Cobra. By the end of the movie, you have your Cobra Commander and your Destro, and it kind of shows how that came about. Well, that isn't necessarily a bad idea for a movie, but as Cobra was forming, G.I. Joe was already a huge established international team with a ridiculously oversized underground base. And so it almost seems like it was a bit of a mismatch in favor of G.I. Joe. So I just, to me, it's backwards. I don't think we necessarily need another origin of Cobra. In the comic book series, even in the cartoon series, really, we didn't get any origin of Cobra until much later on. And I think the reason is because something like Cobra is kind of elemental, right? It uses a lot of imagery from other parts of history and entertainment that we consider to be evil. I'm sorry, Green Yeti. I'm not following you too closely just right now, so I'm thinking out loud here. I'm thinking out loud. Oh, Fab Art is from France. Hello, from the United States. So in this next movie, I'm hoping that they don't do another origin of Cobra. They might do an origin of G.I. Joe. I think that would be a really good idea. But if you're going to do any kind of origin of Cobra, you could almost do like in a title sequence, in like the opening credit sequence, rather than delve too much into it. You can add some subtlety to Cobra as you go, but I think everybody kind of gets the idea about Cobra. But G.I. Joe, though, I think if you started with an origin of G.I. Joe, then you could start with a smaller team. And that I think is important. Starting with a smaller team so that you can actually, get to know some of these characters. In Rise of Cobra, you had a massive, huge team. They tried to focus on certain characters. They had like a core group of characters that they tried to focus on. But the team itself was just enormous. And you can't possibly follow all those. And even though for a lot of them you just got a cameo here and there are so many of them you couldn't even keep up with the cameos here and there. It's just too big. They need to, bring it home, bring it down a little bit, focus a little bit more. And if you have Cobra pre-existing, then it kind of gives a reason for G.I. Joe to exist in the first place. So those are my thoughts about that. I don't want to see another origin of Cobra. I'd like to see an origin of G.I. Joe. Well, Green Yeti, I'm sorry. I hate to disappoint you. I'm kind of talking about something right now, and I'm trying not to lose my train of thought. Well, you know what, Green Yeti? I'm not a fan of Globulus. That's just a fact. I do not like Globulus, but that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to. So, on my train of thought, which I've lost a little bit, the Snake Eyes movie. I actually think Snake Eyes is a solo Snake Eyes movie is a good idea. Um, the They will probably do a solo Snake Eyes movie after the G.I. Joe movie, but I kind of wish that it would come first. Similar to the way that they're doing like a solo, sort of solo, um, Bumblebee movie in Transformers. Okay, Green Yeti has a YouTube channel. If anybody wants to watch it, he wants to. Okay. If you would like to check out Green Yeti's channel, you could probably just click on his name right here. So go check out his channel. He has a video of me rapping. So there you go. So, where was I? Origin of G.I. Joe. Oh, yeah. Snake Eyes movie. The Snake Eyes movie, I wish would come out first, before the whole team. Because with Snake Eyes, a lot of things come with Snake Eyes. With Snake Eyes comes a lot of his history in the Army and training to be a ninja, his relationship with Storm Shadow, his relationship with Scarlet. All of these things are, related to Snake Eyes. For a long time, he's like the central character. So there are a lot of story elements that are centered around that one character. And you could introduce those things through Snake Eyes and then expand on them in the larger G.I. Joe movie. So if you start with the G.I. Joe movie itself, then you have to work in a lot. This is, I think, part of the difficulty with Rise of Cobra. They were trying to work in a lot of things. They were trying to work in a lot of things that were in the cartoon and the comic book series, but it's hard to do that in one movie, right? So you got to have ninjas, and you have a bit of sci-fi, and you have a bit of military, and you have a guy with a silver mask, and somehow you have a Cobra Commander, and all of these things. If you were to introduce some of those elements as they are related to Snake Eyes first, then I think it would be more palatable in a broader G.I. Joe movie, where you're going to have more that's like military-centric. Okay, if you have a military-centered movie, how do ninjas fit in that, right? How do all these crazy things fit into this military-themed group? Well, I think you Snake Eyes. I just think that's a great way to do it. That's my opinion. Another thing that I've been thinking about is the who's the audience, and I would love for the audience to be younger kids, so they could really get into G.I. Joe and they could enjoy it the way we used to enjoy it. But I just don't think that is necessarily going to be the case. And now that's okay. That's okay. Because what I think they probably should do is, instead of targeting either a very young audience or an older audience like us, I think they need to have essentially an all ages audience, which is something that the Marvel movies, and I hate to keep going back to Marvel, but it's just such a great model. But Marvel movies are not kid movies, and they're not adult movies. They are for everyone. They're all ages movies, and they have enough complexity that they can keep adults interested, and they have enough action and flashy stuff and fun that kids can be interested in it. So I think really that's the way you get kids. You can't just target the kids. You got to target a broader audience, but make it something that adults will be interested in too. And you can't There's so many story elements in the Larry Hama comic book series that you have a rich trove of story ideas that you can draw from. And I know there are a lot of fans of the of the cartoon series as well. And you got to have something for the fans of the cartoon series too. But I don't. I think you're going to have to lean either one way or the other. I don't think you can necessarily get a perfect balance between the comic book G.I. Joe and the cartoon series G.I. Joe. What I think they're going to do is it's going to have to be kind of different. It's going to have to take elements and story ideas and basically take what's good from each. But motion picture is its own medium. You can't do in a motion picture what you do in a cartoon or a comic book series. You got to play to your strengths. You got to play to the strengths of the medium. So what I think they'll come up with is something that isn't necessarily like the comic book or like the animated series. It would probably take elements from both, but it's going to be its own animal. Yeah, that's a good example. Star Wars. Actually, Star Wars. Let's go all the way back. Let's go all the way back to Star Wars. In 70s and 80s. That's a perfect example. Star Wars wasn't a kids movie. It's a movie that kids could watch and kids would enjoy. But Star Wars was an all ages movie. It was family friendly. Kids loved it, but a lot of adults loved it too because there was stuff in there that adults could enjoy, that the adults could get behind. There was another layer to the movie that adults could dig in and enjoy. But there was also enough flashy stuff and lightsabers and laser battles that the kids could have fun with that too. So that's the kind of all ages type movie that I'm thinking of. That's the kind of thing that I think would work. G.I. Joe Resolute was a nice idea, and I like G.I. Joe Resolute. Resolute was really good. It may have been a touch on the adult side, which may be why I enjoyed it so much. But Resolute did a pretty good job of kind of threading that needle between the comic book versus the cartoon series. So Resolute is a good example to follow. But even something like Resolute, if you're going to make a feature movie out of it, you're going to have to flesh it out a little bit more. But I think they can do that. I'm choosing to be optimistic. I'm choosing to believe that they can do this. Now, here's something that other folks have brought up, and Sly brings this up too. So this idea that you actually set the movie in the 1980s. I think Stephen from G.I. Joeberg, this is an idea he's a proponent of, and I can understand the appeal of that. But I worry that you might lose some of your audience doing it that way. Hear me out. Follow my reasoning here. I could be totally wrong. Okay? But my reasoning is, if you set basically a military-themed movie in the 80s, you are setting it in the Cold War. Okay? It's by necessity, it's going to be a Cold War story. You can't really get around that with that particular setting. Well, for somebody from my generation, that requires no explanation because we grew up in it. We lived it. We know what it was like back then. So you don't have to explain anything. However, to a younger audience, there's going to be a lot that is not going to be easily understood. You're going to have to end up explaining a few things to tell a younger audience to understand it. Even if you use like proxies, like instead of, you have Cobra instead of the Russians or something like that. Um, I those kind of things will be hard to have like a shorthand for a younger audience that wasn't there at the time, doesn't know it, and wouldn't necessarily pick all of those things up right away. So, and again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but that's my thought on it. And whether it is a good idea or not, I don't think that's the direction they're going to go. From the very tiny bits of information that we've gotten so far, it doesn't seem like that's the direction they're going to go. They're going to go more modern. They're going to go for something that is, going to be focused more on a more modern audience. So I think that's what they're going to do. So I think that'll be interesting to see. So I'm looking forward to it. I really. I hope that it's something that will get people's interest again. I've been on record saying I kind of wish that they would just totally, start from scratch and give this generation its own version of G.I. Joe. Like we had our own version, give the next generation their own version that's focused on what they are interested in. But as much as I think that's a good idea, they're not going to do that either. It's going to be some form, some version or other of Real American Hero. It's going to have those characters. There's going to be Snake Eyes. There's going to be Cobra. You're going to get those things. Oh, hey, Kathy asks if I'm doing Snake Eyes for Halloween again. I could. Hey, it's an easy costume. I might do that. Plus, it keeps me warm. Yeah, Sigma 6 and all of that. Here's the thing. Some of the attempts to kind of reboot G.I. Joe, first of all, that wasn't a real reboot. Sigma 6 included Real American Hero characters. You had Storm Shadow in it, you had Snake Eyes in it. It wasn't a true relaunch. And so they took these familiar characters, made them weird, and my recollection is, I mean, they had vehicles that weren't in scale with the figures, right? Am I misremembering that? So past attempts to revitalize the brand, I think, were kind of misbegotten. They could have done better. They could have done better. But regardless of my thoughts, the fact is they're not going with my idea. They're not going to do that. It seems to me they feel like there's still enough enough capital in the Real American Hero characters that's the well they're going to go to. And if that's what they think, that's fine. So we're going to have Duke again. We're going to have Storm Shadow. We're going to have Snake Eyes. Okay, all right, but fine. But just do it good. Care about it. Care enough about it to do a really good job. To do a really good job, it's not just action, and it's definitely not just lasers. In fact, you can do away with the lasers. Please, no lasers. Please, no lasers. But it's gotta have heart, which means you gotta have characters that are relatable and that have experiences that you can you can experience with them. Some characters that you can feel for. Snake Eyes is a big one. And it's also got to be smart. It's got to have a brain. It can't be dumb. It can't be. And this is part of my problem with Rise of Cobra is the movie was kind of dumb. And I'm sorry for fans of Rise of Cobra, but the movie was just kind of dumb. And the conclusion, the big final battle scene, where there's the Cobra base that's under the polar ice cap, and they attack the base. And then the ice cap falls down on the Cobra base, but even though it's ice, somehow it sinks. It's got to be smart, okay? So does anybody have any? Does anybody think that Hasbro even knows that we exist and we're talking about this? I'll bet they don't. I bet they have. I bet they have no idea we're having this discussion now. If these are just things that I wish that I could, impart to them if they were listening. Yeah. Who said that? Enemy wants to take over the world. The story is automatically silly. David, yeah, you're right. But you know what? I think we're kind of burned out on evil villain trying to take over the world stories. You got to do something else. I 100% agree with that. But if I don't think they necessarily should do another evil villain with world domination plot. Make it more basic. Make it more fundamental than that, and make it more, I want to say relatable. Something that is not so far outside of modern human experience that it just comes off as fake or phony. Let's see. Human mechanism would have some element of magic. See battle of magic versus a battle of magic versus technology. That would be something, and that certainly would be something. I imagine then that means the primary antagonist must be Crystal Ball, right? Oh, hey, all right. Headline: The Human Mechanism wants Crystal Ball solo movie. Let's get that to Hasbro. I don't know. Look, I'll go with whatever works, whatever gets people's attention, whatever gets people interested, whatever gets G.I. Joe back into the public spotlight, and in a positive way. It doesn't have to follow any of my ideas. It doesn't have to be something that I would necessarily even personally like. It's just got to be a There already was a Galobulus movie. There was a Galobulus movie. It was in 1987. That's where he came from. Oh, wow. Okay, hey, we're like half an hour into the live stream. This thing is flying by. It's flying by. So, before we go, I wanted to show you the cool thing that I got. I know a lot of you seen it already, but it's cool. This is really cool. This is awesome. It's I got a good deal on it. I got a bargain on it. It did include the box and the file card. It did not include the scarf for the figure, but that's on its way. Thank you, Mike Lopez. Again, thank you. But this is something I've been keeping an eye on for a while, and I just now finally pulled the trigger on it because, again, I found a good deal on it, and it's in great shape. And really interesting jet. It's definitely in the size class of the Sky Striker. It has fewer features than the Sky Striker, though. I mean, the Sky Striker, I like the features on the Sky Striker better. But this is the Phantom X-19 stealth fighter with Ghost Rider, who's in there. That's the character that the joke is nobody can remember his name. Even though his name is on the jet in multiple places. First of all, let's see. Oh, no, on this side. His name is right there, and his name is right there, and his name is right there. Ghost Rider's name is on this jet in 3 separate places. In fact, just scanning it real quickly, I don't think it actually says Phantom anywhere on this thing. If you were to believe the decal stickers, you'd think this jet was called the Ghost Rider. But it has the landing gear mechanism, which I can try to... there we go. Sticking for me. There you go. Landing gear. Retractable. Man, this one sticks. Okay, hold on. I don't want to break it. There we go. There we go. That's better. It's got the landing gear, and the landing gear mechanism also moves these jet exhausts in and out. It's got an interesting cockpit that that slides out. Now mine has a little bit of trouble staying on. Well, it looks like it's staying this time. And it's got 2 seats. I have Ghost Rider in the back seat because it's kind of actually a little bit difficult to get him in the front seat. But it has those the infamous seat belts too. And let's take a second. Let's take a second and look at Ghost Rider. Yeah, RTD1. Yeah, definitely an attempt to cash in on the Top Gun craze. Hasbro was not above cashing in on other things that were popular at the time. They had no problem doing that at all. But look at this. This is nice. This figure is everything that Windmill should have been but wasn't. And you know, not just the colors. The colors are nice, but look at the detail. Look at the helmet. It's looking really good. In fact, it has in spots some similar details to Windmill, but you can actually see these details because look, that holster is painted. He's got a tampo on his leg. You know, he's got multiple colors painted on his helmet. This. If Windmill had been just a nudge closer to this, it would have been a whole lot better. So, yeah, this is interesting. As to whether, somebody asked if it's a top tier. I haven't decided that yet or not, but it's nice. It's nice. Yeah, it's not bad. So, Ghost Rider, and of course, like I said, he's missing the red scarf, but we'll fix that. So, thanks to Mike for sending that. So, and we got, let's see. Oh yeah, this has like the pop out. Let's see if we can do this. There we go. The slide out wing. Oh, well, all right. That wasn't supposed to pop off. I think I pulled it a little too hard. Anyway, that was a surprise. Anyway, these wings that pop the guns out when you slide them out, and then it's got these. There we go. These really unique glide bombs. This is basically just little drones. So just lots of really cool, interesting, and unique features on this thing. Now I gotta put this thing back on. Oh, it's easy. It's easy to put back on. There, it's back on. A couple missiles. Really, it's nice. It's nice. It looks great. It's just got so much going on. Oh yeah, got these. Yeah, oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. These flaps here in the back. It's got a lot going on. Yeah, I was really happy to get it. I can sometimes. All right, I'll admit I can be a cheap bastard sometimes, but you know, I usually try to wait until I find a good bargain, especially before I get, you know, a big ticket item like this. But good deal comes along, I try not to pass it up. So Phantom X19, so that is really cool. Yeah, we got like 20 minutes left. Yeah, Delvis, I'm thrifty. That's what it is. You know, and I'm trying to collect the entire vintage run, right? Everything from 82 to 94. And as some of you may be aware, there's a lot of it. And if I just pay top dollar for everything, it's going to get real expensive really fast. So, you know, I have to hunt a bit. I have to pass up on some deals that I think aren't aren't good enough when I feel like I can get a better deal. You know, so that's enabled me to get more, you know, and so I have more to review. So, you know, it helps me keep the channel going by being a little cheap. Chili Swerve, it's getting late there. Well, it's getting a little bit late here, too. Let's see. What's the deal with everyone's? What's the best deal everyone's got? Found a complete Outpost Defender at a comic shop for $5. Terradrome, only missing the file car. Wow. 3 Firebat missiles and 2 small gun caps for $200. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good deal. Yeah. Sometimes I have to eat ramen noodles so I can buy more Joes. But only if I can get a good deal on the ramen noodles, right? You know, if I got a coupon, you know, why pay you full price? Congratulations on being 39, Green Yeti. Good job. Let's see. Somebody asked if I like WWF. It's never been my thing. I've never been a fan. I know that there are lots of fans out there. Oh yeah. David says you don't collect anymore. You watch the show to collect vicariously. You know, that's absolutely fine. You know, I do like, you know, talking with collectors and, you know, encouraging people to think of me expensive, and it's not the only way to enjoy G.I. Joe. There are lots of G.I. Joe fans that never collect any of the toys. So that's absolutely fine. You gotta, you know, find the way to enjoy it that appeals to you. It does not necessarily have to involve spending a lot of money on plastic toys. And, you know, you raise a good point here. I'm going to go off on another tangent, but it's something that's also been on my mind. All right. Collecting, right? Collecting. Collecting anything vintage like this, it's expensive. The prices tend to go up, and especially on the rare stuff, sometimes it can be hard to find it at any price. And sometimes when I see other collectors, it's like they're sort of, man, I don't want to cast any aspersions on anyone, so I'm not going to call anybody out. But when you look at a lot of collecting forums and things like that, it seems like some collectors are just showing off all of the money they spent. It's just a way of, you know, showing off their collection is a way of just showing you how much disposable income they had to shell out to get all of this stuff. And that's not my purpose. I enjoy hunting things down. I enjoy finding treasures. I enjoy, finding a bargain, finding some hidden gem. And I enjoy, you know, having like the tactile experience of holding the things in my hand again. But I ain't rich, and I'm not going to be able to drop, you know, thousands of dollars every week or every month to buy a bunch of this stuff. I have to find decent bargains, and that means I might have to hunt a bit more. But if I show off something in my collection, like I show off the Phantom X19, it is not my way of saying, you know, look at all the money I have that you don't have. You know, look at how much I spent that you didn't spend. Hey, Green Yeti, I'm already subscribed to you. I already am. I subscribed to you earlier today. So hold on, I missed something. The chat goes by so fast I can't keep up with it all. Oh yeah, Mike Lopez is going to send me an MRE so we can talk over an hour next week. You know, that's what we can do. I can do a live review of an MRE. That would be something, right? That would be amusing. Now, I still would like to do a live stream for more than an hour. I have an idea of doing one that goes a bit later, and that's like several hours, so that we can get folks that are in time zones that aren't normally able to join just because it's either too early or too late for them. But I've got to do that. I've got to be able to do it, and sometimes I'm fairly exhausted by this time of the evening, so. I'd try your MRE. I'd try your MRE. I'd give it an honest review. That would be that would be something. I think that would be amusing. Um, okay, Primal Savage asks if I think there were too many ninjas in G.I. Joe. I do think they got a little ninja heavy through certain parts of the 90s. I think they went a little too far. I don't have a problem with ninjas in G.I. Joe. I like my G.I. Joe ninjas. I really do. But there was a point where like G.I. Joe seemed to be kind of primarily about ninjas. And that I think is a little much. If you're gonna have ninjas, they gotta have like a place within the whole story. And the GI Joe story to me should be centered around military. It's a military toy line, and I think that's ought to be the center of it. Oh, hey, yeah, Joe Motion's going to send me a case of Pepsi. Well, hey, then we're set, right? If I did that, though, I'd have to do it like on a weekend because you guys are going to keep me up all night. And I'm going to have to drag my butt into work the next day. Y'all are going to get me fired. You realize that? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me fired. Now, I'll one of these weekends, like a Friday night, a Saturday, or something like that, we'll set up a long live stream just for kicks, and we'll just see how long we can go. I think that would be fun. I really enjoy these live streams. I didn't realize how much I would enjoy these until I started doing them, and now I can't live without them. I love doing them, and I love catching up with you guys. I'm sorry that I miss a whole bunch in the chat. I'm sorry about that. Becky says it's my own fault for being this much fun. I don't know what I'm doing fun. I'm just talking here. I'm just talking. Yes, Green Yeti, I subscribe to you. I'm assuming you're talking about me. Maybe Joe Motion Videos 82 is your idol, which is reasonable. And I believe he subscribed to you too. No, I cannot be anybody's idol. I am only human. I am only flawed human. As they say, I put my pants on one leg at a time, like everybody else. But yeah, thank you. We still got a few minutes. I've covered all the topics that I wanted to talk about. Now I'm just kind of hanging out with you guys. It's a busy week at work, I can tell you that. We do have an attorney that is out on vacation, so I'm kind of covering. So it's a bit more work than usual, so I do, get kind of tired, but everything's good, it's good. And David doesn't know what pants are. Well, I don't know. Ask your mother. I should do a live stream where we watch the '87 movie together. That's an interesting. I like that idea. These are great ideas. Like if I were trying to do a fundraiser for something, I've seen other channels do this where like, oh, we're trying to fund a movie or something like that. And they do these live streams where they do special stuff like that. That'd be a great idea for something like that. But I don't have anything to raise money for. So, but it would still be fun. I've learned, hey, Green Yeti and anybody else who's trying to make it big on YouTube, what I've discovered is the secret to being popular on YouTube is waving your hands about a lot. Gesture, especially toward the camera, it keeps people excited and interested. Zakivan75, hello, how are you doing? Episodes of the cartoon. Another thing that I think would be fun. Yeah, if you got a YouTube channel, give it a try. Try gesturing a lot. Big, wild gestures. It confuses people, and it makes them unable to switch it to something else. All right, they drop the remote, or they can't find the button or the mouse on the computer, and then then you've got them. Then you've got them hooked. Becky, that's not a bad idea. Doing something for charity. Hey, there's a thought. Becky brings up doing some kind of fundraiser for charity. We have charity drives in our community already. Timmer does a charity drive every Christmas season, and I try to be a part of that. That could be something that could work for that. I've been wanting to find a way to, with Timmer's charity drive more. That could be something that we could do. I think that might be a good idea. I'll have to ask him about it, run it by him, but I couldn't hurt. MST3K, the Deke Joe cartoons, I would enjoy that. Of course, if I were to watch the '87 movie, I couldn't watch it without riffing. I tell you what, my wife and I watched so much MST3K at one point that we got to a point where we couldn't watch a movie without riffing it. But if you have company over and you're watching a movie, you really gotta keep you gotta keep that tamped down a little bit. Not everybody enjoys the constant one-liners thrown at the screen. Where's Mrs. HCC? She is. I think she's back there. She's not around here. I think she's. I don't know. She's here somewhere. Let's see. Well, where's my? Let's see. I just said. I almost said, "Where's my phone?" So I could send her a message. The phone is right there. The phone is the thing that we are watching on right now. Svengoolie, I've seen a bit of Svengoolie. That's fun. Wait, who said that? Beta Ray Bob. We used to do bad movie nights. These, bad movie parties where we'd pick 3 of the worst movies that we could find, get a bunch of friends over, we'd have some food and some drinks, and we'd all just spend the whole evening making fun of these movies. That's a lot of fun. We loved that. Haven't done one for a while, but we might do that again sometime because we enjoy it. And when you do get the right people together, it's a lot of fun. It really is. Green Yeti brings up a point. Toys R Us sounds like is making a comeback. Rebranded, though. It's not going to be called Toys R Us. It's going to be called something I don't remember. Who remembers what they were rebranding? Whoever remembers what they were rebranding it, write it in the chat, because I'm blanking on what it was. Yeah, Jeffrey's Toy Box. That's what it was. Hey, maybe that'll be good. Hey, can everybody still see me? Because my screen here went blank. Hey, Javier, how you doing? Okay, on. Are we still broadcasting? Okay, good. You can still see me. All right. I have my screen over here so I can keep an eye on the broadcast. And also, if I need to, boot anybody out, I can do it over here. It's easier to do it on my laptop than on my phone. But the video cut out, so I wasn't sure if you guys could see me. Hello, Chris. Chris Mc83. It's really great to see you guys. I wish I could respond to every comment and everything in the chat. It just goes by so quickly. But I do see you guys and see your names, and I'm really thrilled that all of you show up every week. This is a lot of fun. I enjoy this very much. I keep thinking, like, on these Tuesdays, we could do like a post-mortem of the video review on Sunday, right? Because by now you've seen the video review from Sunday. Oh, David says hello from Scotland. Hello from the United States. So you've seen the video review from Sunday, so we could talk about it. But then I end up talking about other stuff and I forget. And then I think, sometimes I forget which video you've seen because I'm working, a week to a week and a half ahead. So the video that I just finished is not the video you've just seen. You won't see the one that I just finished until next Sunday. So I can't really talk about that because you haven't seen it yet. So it makes it a little difficult because I do want the reviews to be a surprise. So I don't want to give away the surprise. But the thing that's most on my mind when I'm doing this is something that you haven't seen yet. Yeah. We are winding down in about 4 minutes. We'll keep it going for about 4 minutes. I've very much enjoyed this live stream, and I've enjoyed the chat. I know I missed a lot. When I went back a couple weeks ago and looked at the chat log, I realized just how much I missed. I didn't realize that I missed as much as I did. So there's a lot that goes on in the chat that I don't see, so I'm sorry about that. But I do appreciate you all being here. And I hope you enjoyed the discussion. I did want to get some thoughts out about the upcoming G.I. Joe movie, some thoughts about it, some things that I think might work and might not work. And I wanted to show off my Phantom X19. Very happy about that. Could I recap issues from the chats? A clip show? I don't know. Never thought about that. I guess I could think about it. I don't know. So thanks everyone. Thank you. I don't know what to say other than thank you because I'm very appreciative of you being here. Paul Ballard Action Force HQ review. That Action Force HQ is pretty. It's missing a couple of the pieces, but it's mostly there, and it's pretty sweet. Action Force had some amazing stuff that didn't have anything to do with G.I. Joe. Before G.I. Joe started to invade, there was some really sweet Action Force stuff, which, of course, I didn't know anything about. I didn't know anything about it until, as an adult collector, I started to do it. Oh, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. Chris Pierce from Comic Tropes will be thrilled to know that the whole Hoodie Coco thing has really caught on. That was his idea. He sent me a private message saying that he thought Hoodie Coco would be funny. So I used it once, and now it's the big thing. So what I think I need Hoodie Coco t-shirts, right? I got to get some Hoodie Coco t-shirts. That's what I'm missing. That'll be the big seller. I got to have some Hoodie Coco t-shirts. I'll work on it. But hey, I don't mind being called Hoodie Coco. There are certainly much worse nicknames. I'll take it. It's not bad. Speaking of t-shirts, I only just recently ordered my Cobra Convergence 3 t-shirt. I try to get a commemorative t-shirt for each of the Cobra Convergences, but sometimes I'm slow. So I've only just now ordered my Cobra Convergence 3 t-shirt. And we're already making plans for Cobra Convergence 4. So, and it's going to be bigger, and more fun. I hope you guys enjoy that. Oh wait, who got stuck with Pookie? Robert, you was stuck with Pookie in high school. Well, if it's a term of endearment, it's not bad, But maybe people were making fun of you. I don't know. Yeah, Yeah, I suppose if I do a Hootie Coco shirt, I've also got to Team Globulus. Apparently, I've got to do a Team Globulus. So these are things that I'll work on as soon as I have some time. Time is always the issue. Time I never have enough of. But yes, it is time. Excuse me. It's been an hour, so I will say good evening. It's been a long day for me, and I've got to do some work actually on the next review video. So I'm going to get to work on that. But thank you everyone for showing up. Thank you to Byron and Green Yeti for being moderators. Thank you everyone for behaving yourselves and being really nice. And don't forget, next week, next Tuesday, we will be doing it again. So until next week, remember my tagline. That's from all the way back from 1964. The slogan, "Only G.I. Joe is G.I. Joe." Except no imitations. I can't say it, but that's what I mean. Okay, so now I gotta hit this little X here and turn this off.